How's it going, everyone? It is Friday, May 10th, 2024, and this is the video for today. So let's go over the picks from the prior video. The first one was the ACAM earnings time spread. So I got a bid for that spread on yesterday for 25 cents, and I managed to get out for 35 cents on the same day. So I didn't have to withstand any of the risk. ACAM had about an 8% drop. I think you should still have been able to profit on that move. Check my setups over here, but I believe that if I look at ACAM, the expected move is 11%. So it still fell well below that expected move. You could probably still get out for some sort of profit on that trade. So ACAM, if you got the same day fill, it's a winner. Before I switch to Ambien, let me talk about these spreads here. It was a low liquidity option, and it had a bid-ask spread moving at about 5 cents each. So you want to take advantage of that by bidding lower than the mid. And I like to do somewhere between 40% of the strike price, and then set an order for at the mid or slightly above the mid as the IV picks up later in the day. Use more call buying at the money, and then you sort of get that pricing to work in your favor. The spread value moves up, and you get a favorable fill on the upside. Okay, so that was a nice win on ACAM. Amgen, I talked about yesterday as a day trade. So when the video came out, I liked this compression while the market was moving down. I said, look, if we get a high at the day break, Amgen would be a really nice day trading short. It was excellent grind up higher. So the stock was grinding up. Pull back over here. This pullback is okay. A little bit of volatility. It's close to that 313 level that I mentioned. So on this retest, you can see that we pull back. Stock is going kind of flat here. So around over here is when I would probably start taking profits on the position, and you get nice profits at around, let's call it 1350, 1360. So would have been a really nice trade. It's about a $230 winner on a nice $300 stock. So Amgen, very nice day trade. Let's look at Amazon over here. So Amazon, we broke through the all-time high, which is really nice. We came back, tested this breakout level, and surged higher. Also pretty good. I like this setup quite a bit. We had our LRSI cross. We had, to put up LRSI here. Actually, we didn't quite get an LRSI cross. We got it over here. But we had a couple of tests, but we just couldn't quite close above that level. And we tried to pull away and try to get back in. So, even if you took the LRSI cross here, let's say, and I ended up not taking the trade because I really wanted to see the stock pull away, have another dip at a lower low and pull away. So even if you took the LRSI cross here, this is some pretty decent selling pressure. Let's say you were like, whatever, I missed that, and it fell back below the range, made a new low. Okay, you take a much smaller loss than if you had chased all the way at the high of the day. Now you have to take the loss over here. So Amazon should have been a no trade. We're gonna take a look at GE today. So GE is pulling back. We have a nice red candle here coming to the 8 EMA. We might be testing the AVWAP-E. GE is still nice on a daily chart, but move really hasn't produced in the past 1, 2, 3, 4 days, especially while the market has been surging higher. So I am far less bullish about GE than I was a couple of days ago. I like to see this move produce pretty quickly. Right, it pulls back over here. Here's the initial breakout, pull back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, 5 days. So I want to see GE make a new high today on this next cycle up. Let's look at the M30 here for some of the cycles. So you can see there's the post earnings move. Let me move to an H1 chart. Could be a little bit easier, yeah, to see these cycles on a couple of days here. Cycle 1, cycle back over here. Here's our next cycle, and now we're pulling back. I'm not loving this red candle here. That's a bit of a longer red candle. Definitely not a fan of that. But what I want to see is find some support at its AVWAP-Q and its 8 EMA. We're going to talk about what the market does in a second, but no reason to panic out of GE right now. We just have to give it some time. what I've done right now is at least I've sold an out of the money call on GE, so that way I can take advantage of this time premium decay as the stock starts to move up, or as the stock kind of moves down a little bit here. So that's what you can do in the meantime, but I am keeping an eye on GE, but I'm not panicking out of GE, and I'm just going to mark my picks over here. All right, so let's get into the market, and then I'm going to give a pick for the day. I think I already have it ready. I'm actually in it as well. So on a longer term time frame, you can see how the market has been moving, or we had a strong move higher, and now here's our chance to really test this all-time high. So we got close to it today. We poked above it. We got very close. We got a little bit of selling pressure over here, so we're waiting to see how strong this move off the gap is like. Is it going to be something like this, or is it going to be something like this? Now going into this, we formed a base. This was some patchy price action, but we did get a pretty good move in these past couple of days. I like the D1 price action. If you zoom into the intraday charts, you can see that the volume has been pretty low. The price action has not been the most organized, I would say. Especially, let's look at the last couple of days here, where we got this low volume, gap down here, shopping around. This was an okay move up, but you can see just a lot of fighting and just a lot of low volume movement over here. Nothing really super compelling intraday. There are some nice, relatively strong and relatively weak stocks that we can take. But yeah, nothing super compelling. So that's what we're kind of seeing intraday wise. We're getting close to this all-time high, and now we got this gap up. We had some strong overseas markets, but nothing really newsy that came up to really justify that gap up. It wasn't like there was some major economic news or there was any sort of major earnings release. So if you had any swing longs, like for example, I took JPM as a swing long a couple of days ago, and I took profits in the open over here as the market was moving up higher and this 1OP bearish cross was pending. I knew that we could get a gap reversal. JPM's looking like it's holding up really well, but sometimes they would fall flat. So be very careful at this area here. I'm not going to be overloading on any swings. I'm not going to be making any sudden moves. I'm just keeping it short term right now. Day trading, put debit spreads, call debit spreads until I really see the market make any sense of direction. But this is not a time to be putting on a lot of positions. This is a pretty critical juncture we're at, very close to the all-time high. We already see some selling pressure here, so it tells us that we have to be a little bit careful. If you're unsure what to do, stay in cash. Think, even if you don't have the best technical skills, patience is something that you can practice, and just wait for the most golden opportunity. So work on that patience if you're unsure what to do. I'm currently in R&D mode. I'm trying out different day trades and different swing trades. I'm really trying to learn my craft. Anyways, enough about that. Talk about the market on a longer term basis. I'm still a 1 bullish fundamentally and technically. On a shorter term basis, I'm also a 1 bullish. On an intraday basis, I am maybe a -2 bearish right now. I like this move into the gap. I'm not saying I like it or I don't like it, but if I'm a bear, I do like this move into the gap. We came through it with some strong candles, but you can see there is some stubborn price action over here. We are seeing some fighting, but bears certainly have control. So it's not the strongest move down, but it's a pretty decent move down. So I'm pretty decently bearish at the moment. We filled in this gap. We do have some momentum, so I want to see us break through this low today pretty soon. If we can break through it on the remaining part of the low cycle, that would get me pretty bearish, because it shows that this gap support here has been overwhelmed, right? All the buyers here, they've been exhausted. There's still too much supply at this point. Okay, so our intraday bias is -2. How can we take advantage of this? So there's two positions I'm in right now that I can take a look here. The first one is Sedge. So let's take a look at the Sedge day trade short. We had this post earnings weakness, broke through this low minus trend line, a lot of touches, very long term, very relatively weak. And this stock has been grinding lower. I love how it actually didn't gap up that much. Small gap up, filled in it pretty quickly, some long red candles, and then it just was kind of grinding lower and lower each day. You can see that we have a really nice HA reversal trend, and it's forming this very nice tight channel. So if I were to draw the channel on this stock here, sometimes it's hard to draw those lines, but you can see that we have a very nice tight grind lower, and as long as this channel is preserved, we can actually stay in the trade. So it's bouncing the channel. We test one channel, breaks to the next channel, test one channel, breaks to the next channel, so on. So Sedge, very, very nice. The other one that I may recommend, and it could be my pick of the day here, is Tesla. Now Tesla's a little bit choppy, but here's what I like about Tesla. So first, week chart, kind of a bit of a mess. Won't do anything except day trade or maybe a PDS. What I like about here is that we got this gap up news, and actually traded this for a nice long 100 SMA. Rejected 100 SMA, fell back into the range, below this 8 VWAP E, through the 80 MA. There's a nice lot of HA, some flat bottom HA candles on D1 as well. We're at the 50 SMA, and we filled in this gap right around here. Right here's the gap fill. So there's maybe a little bit of gap fill support at this close. We're gonna keep an eye on that. Hopefully it's nothing. I think it should be something kind of minor, some pretty heavy selling pressure. But on the days when the market was rallying up, maybe let's zoom into 15 here. Zoom out, sorry. Market's rallying up, Tesla's coming down. Market starts to crack, Tesla breaks through 50 SMA, comes back for the retest. We'll zoom into this in the M5. All right, this is a pretty strong retest, pretty quick snapback over here. Come to this retest, and then we get some long red candles through the low of the day, pretty heavy volume, and we can't get anything going off it. So Tesla PDS, it may be my pick of the day. I'm going to see if I can find any other nice bearish searches, but really like Tesla as a short. Very weak. I would still stick with a PDS right now. We don't know how deep this retracement is going to be. And what I like to see here is, like, if we get, and it's not the same exact thing, but if we get something like this where we reject here, it's kind of weak, we trickle down lower, and we get a higher low, and then we surge back up. I think this is how we can break some of these all-time high levels. So that's what I'm watching for here. If this is going to be a strong rejection, sharp rejection, I'm not super sure, so that's why I'm kind of playing it safe. So right now I have Tesla. Let's look at some other picks that I have on the short side. I have it sorted by range. So ACMR is a nice one. It has to get through its 200-day SMA. But I do like this short if it can get through that level. You can see how it's also been pretty weak to spy. It is in a bearish trend, perhaps something like that. So it's trying to break out of that bearish trend channel. And this is a pretty high volume candle low at 50 SMA, so it really has to clear through that. But I think I have an alert set for a green alert. New low of the day. So if it can really get through its low of the day here, stack some red candles away from the 200-day SMA, I think we're in business. I think we have something really good going on here. So Sedge, I'm already in. As long as it maintains this channel, then I am sticking with the trade. U is also very nice. Yeah, really nice breakdown here. Here's my mild trend line it broke through. Very bearish chart. Here's another trend line coming into play. This trend line is probably no longer valid as it broke through this to the downside. I'm always just kind of having my channels ready. Yeah. So I think it's in this bearish channel. Looks like a rejected off the top. I'd still say this channel is valid. We have plenty of room to the downside of this channel. There may be some support coming around here. Looks like, yeah, might have found some support at that level. So let's see if I just draw something like here. if that matches up with the D1. That's a nice way that I like to check. Yeah, so it looks like somewhere around here, hit some support. So if we can kind of get through that level, I think we have a nice path down to the bottom of that trend line. So a couple of nice stocks. Now, if we are wrong about the market, it starts to find support. Here are some nice stocks that are holding up well. ANET is holding up pretty well. TSM is holding up pretty well. I'm really liking TSM. Very wide bullish channel. That's a bad channel. Yeah, really like TSM. Let's look at the D1 here quickly. Nice breakout above this level. Looks like there is a horizontal line. Nope, yeah, all the way back over here. So could come into play. Have some room there. Could work as a CDS, certainly. Nice strong price action, nice breakout. Keep in mind we have NVIDIA earnings coming up in about 2 weeks, so that will be affecting TSM. Sweet Green is also looking pretty good. It's above VWAP. It's holding all of the gains here. It's forming a bit of a wedge. If you can get through this high above VWAP, that could also be in business. So I'm going to give a pick for 2 scenarios. So first scenario here, if we manage to go through the gap, I'm going to go Tesla short as a PDS. I like that pick a lot. If we hold the gap, we're not really able to get anything going over here. We get a tall bounce and a higher low, lower high. Or, sorry, a higher low, higher high. I am going to recommend, I'm between TSM and I am between ANET. I may have to go, yeah, I may have to go with TSM here. And it's just a little bit too choppy for me, I think. It just makes these really, really big moves. This is a pretty nice parabolic pullback entry, I would say. You get your LRSI cross right here. So right here, it's holding above VWAP. We get some nice green candles. Right here, we get this key bar off of the high. I didn't love this bearish engulf at 10. So ANET is pretty good. TSM also a bit of a bearish engulf here. This is a tough one. I'm gonna see how I can really bet these here between these 2 stocks. Stick with the ANET T1 chart is a little more important. So it has a lot of momentum. It's a little bit overextended, but it's fine for a day trade. We are through this high. That certainly was a factor. There's also some resistance right here. Yeah, minor resistance here. Here's one level. Let's try kind of around these closes. So that was a level here. So we broke through it. You may have tested it, found some support, and come back up. So that's kind of giving some clarity to this move. That's probably why this is finding some relative strength. Buyers were defeated here, got sucked back in, confirming the T1 support. It's pretty decent. This is pretty decent. This is tough to say. Very tough to say. I think I'm leaning towards TSM. I'm just liking the quarterly price action a little bit more, a little bit organized. So if SPY is bullish for the day, so gets above VWAP on this bounce, has a higher low, then starts to move up higher, and that move up higher times in with a nice bullish 1OP cross, I think TSM would be a very, very good long. So those are my picks for today. Tesla short, TSM long, and I think, look, you can do a day trade on this or a CDS, depending on how comfortable or uncomfortable you are. It's not, kind of your preference as to how long you think these cycles are going to last. But yeah, those are my picks for today. I hope you guys found this helpful. I'm going to add these to our YouTube picks. So we'll take a look at Tesla, and then we will take a look at TSM. and we'll look at them on Monday. So thanks for listening, everyone, and we will see you all on Monday.